to this morning live. So on this live, I'm going to definitely help those who are interested in telling their stories. Also, for those of you who are interested in my books, some of the content that I write, I'm going to be sharing some of that, some information or some content from my books. The reason why I love sharing my content is because how would you ever know that what I'm sharing is something that could bless you if I never talk about what's in the book? I just keep telling you, I'm an author. I'm an author. And so I want to encourage you, for all of you who are watching, if you are an author as well, get more and more familiar, more and more comfortable with sharing the content in your books and your stories. This is why it's so important that you believe in what you are writing, because ultimately it's a story that you have to become comfortable with sharing again and again. All right. So when we don't like what we wrote, it's hard to want to talk about it. It's like, oh, it's like dragging teeth, or, it just is a drag, really. And I don't want it to be that for you. So sometimes we feel like we don't want to do something because we don't believe that the results are eventually going to be there. In the beginning, you might be the only person talking. You might be the only person listening. Hey, Jay, I see you. Hey, Miss Becky. So I want to encourage you. You have to be able to stick with it through the difficult and uncomfortable seasons. Because unfortunately, they usually come first. And when they come, they're not the easiest things to deal with, which is why it's good to have help along the way. Okay. So today is just going to be a conversation. And then as we have the conversation, if books come to mind, I'll share those. Okay. And if services come to mind for those of you who may need it, I want you to take advantage of the details, the content, and all that good stuff. One of the things I want to share with you real quick is for all of you who are subscribing, following on this live, any of my platforms, I am going to start issuing or writing up these tickets. The blue tickets are for people who follow me. Okay. And the yellow tickets, or as I say, the golden tickets, Willy Wonka style, these are the tickets that I issue for those of you who are buying books. Okay. So when you buy books or services, you can do either one. I will put your name on here and you will be in the drawing to get 5 times whatever the prize or the gift is for the month. I don't know what that is just yet, but I am building it up because there's a lot of things that I want to do and I trust I can help you with. So we'll see what those topics become. So I want to encourage you, definitely, if you would like to connect with me or learn more about what I do, follow me if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I see you push your following here on KLE Business. So yes, on KLE Business, and I'm also author K Lee, or author KLEE, on all platforms. Okay. So what we're going to do today, I have, like, y'all probably don't know this, but I'm going to tell y'all this now. I have 64 books, okay? 64 published books. I have nearly 200 titles that I anticipate writing. And how many of y'all know? When I put my mind to something, it ain't going to be something that takes 80 million years. Nah, I'm going to be dealing with these books. I wouldn't even have to say in a lifetime. I want to say in a few years, the way I'm doing things. I typically write about 30 years, 30 books a year. When it comes to my content. So that's not including other people's books or ghost writing for you or my clients. That's just me. Okay. So if you are wanting to be a repeat author, I am a really good person to follow. A, I will encourage you. B, I'm going to check in with you and say, hey, how's it going? Sometimes we just need somebody to do that for us because nobody else around us is. Okay. So if you need what we call an accountability partner, that's what I do for authors. Okay. So make sure you subscribe to get that. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to consider what story or stories are you wanting to tell. Okay. Because knowing what story you want to tell and how you want other people to connect with you, or Lord's willing for the Father to use you, is pretty important. Why? Because writing a book begins with your why, begins with your purpose. And if you don't know what that is, then I want to help you figure it out. Because one, no matter who's your editor or your publisher, or even if you're self-publishing or going through traditional publishing, people are going to need to know what's your vision. Okay. And the only worst thing to having a bad vision is no vision, because you don't know where you're going. So you don't know how to assess or to uh, know if this is actually something that's good or good for you. And you're spending a lot of your time just kind of spending it. Okay. Joshina, how you doing, hon? It's so good to see you back. Y'all know my bell is way over here. I don't know why I didn't move it closer before. There you go. How you doing, love? Thank you so much. I see the hearts. We're at 60 here on Kaylee Business, and we're at 76 on Author Kaylee. Our goal for Kaylee Business is 1,000. Okay, so 1,000 hearts. Y'all are already on the way. We're over 15% already. And over here, our goal is 2,500 to begin. So if you like what you're hearing, definitely lift up the hearts. It lets everybody know we're in the room. And we're going to do what we do always, which is have a good time. Okay. Share some good information and show you how to essentially tell your stories and tell them effectively. All right. I want to share this real quick, just for those of you who are like, Krystal, yes, I want to, write and tell my story too. How can I do it? Okay. I want to share a resource with you real quick. This resource is a hardback, full colored book. It is going to show you how to write anything easily. Okay. That's the name of the book because that's what it does. All right. So if you're wondering, okay, Krystal, how did you get 64 books? I started just like you with one. And honestly, I started like some of you with none. Because before you write anything, you have to, one, commit to the journey. And then two, you have to go all the way to the end. I know it's tempting to start something and be like, oh, not for me. And then we walk away. And then a few years later, we see other people with their books and we're like, God, nobody loves me. No, you're just not consistent. So if you're not consistent, then you're not going to have this accolade. All right. This accolade comes because you put effort in. Okay. Anything that you really want, you're going to have to push for. Okay. If you want something to be birthed, guess what? There's an experience that comes before the new thing happens. Having a business is like having a new baby or birthing something new into the world. It's going to take action to create it. Okay. And then it's going to take action to bring it forth. All right. So if you're not willing to put in the time or the effort or stuff like that to come up with a creative vision and then carry out your vision, then you're going to find that you're really wishful thinking. Okay. There's a difference between wishful thinkers and dreamers and doers. All right. Dreamers are people who create the vision, but sometimes they lack the ability, the consistency, or the faith to complete it. So they have a dream that they see and they know it's there, but they don't do anything to bring it forth. Okay. I want to encourage you, dreamers and doers need to combine. Doers are people that do, but sometimes they don't have the vision or the team to be able to complete their vision. So essentially, he says, lead by example. I agree. So dreamers here have, I'm telling you. So if you dreamers are, they're good, but they need to be able to line up with a doer because the doer will push you. Okay. Another thing is you have those who are wishful thinkers. Oh, I wish that was me. These are just spectators. These are people who watch everybody else, but they're the ones that are not quite going anywhere. These are the ones that grow the most frustrated because they know that they can, but they also know that they're not. Whenever my children tell me, oh, I can't do this, I say, don't say that. Say, I won't do this, because that's really what you mean. You're saying, I will not do this. And that's why you're not going to do this. Okay. Because guess what? Sometimes the way you envision a thing being accomplished is the only way you see it being done. But how many of you know, in order to bring a baby forth, it's going to take a doctor. It's going to take a partner when you're creating the baby in the beginning. Okay. It's going to take someone to help you raise the baby because you can't raise it all by yourself. You're going to have to send it to school eventually. You're going to have to do all of these things. Why? Because it takes a village, because it takes a team. Some of you are wanting to build a business all by your lonesome and your clients are not even in the picture. So you might say, well, how do I have a business and no clients? Or how do I have a business and no team? You just answer your question. You don't have a business. You have a vision. And you have to allow your vision to what? Take root, okay, and be birthed. It's not birthed if it's only in your head. A baby is not what here until it is on earth where other people can see it, can touch it, can help you, can support you, can do these things. And I want to encourage you, if your story has been locked away in your heart or in your mind for way too long, and you're like, I've been carrying this baby over 9 months, this baby like almost a whole adult, and it's still what? In my head. Okay. If you've been doing that, I want to encourage you, combine your dreams to being a doer. And really, I want to say become solution driven. Okay. For some of you, you're stuck and you have not given into the thought of becoming solution driven. Okay. What is solution driven? Solution driven will give you the energy to see your vision as something someone else needs. So when you think of giving up, it will tell you, I can't. Why you can't? Oh, I can't because someone needs this, and this is why I'm pushing. Okay. So if you have not gotten there yet, that means your why is not clear and your purpose is not clear. So when people read your book, they won't even know what to do. Have you ever had like a really good person right in front of you and they're like, man, I like what you're doing. Tell me how I can help you. And it's like crickets because you really don't know how you need them to help you. So you just say something hoping that's enough. And they're like, oh, that's it. Oh, that's all you need. And you're like, man, I should have asked for more. That's because you didn't think through the details before the right person came to you. Some of us are saying, well, I'm not going to do any of the work until I meet the right person. And I want to let you know it's too late. I know you might say, what, Krystal? I'm late. Yes, yes, you're late. Why? Because there were other people already believing and working for what you're now looking at. And they're going to be the ones that take possession of what could have been yours. But let me tell you, how could it be yours if you never what made room for it? So it was really not yours to begin with because you were what? You were a wishful thinker. Wishful thinkers don't make preparation. Wishful thinkers are inconsistent. Wishful thinkers are people who hope for the best, and hope is even a strong word, probably too strong for a wishful thinker, because they're really not hoping for nothing. They're really just saying, well, if it is what it is, if it happens, it happens. That's those people. How many of you know those people tend not to be committed or consistent in anything that they're doing? And if you're not consistent, you're going to find out real quick, nothing's going to change. And it ain't God, it ain't them, it ain't your help. You got to look at yourself. I know. You might say, wait, Krystal, wait a minute. This is supposed to be encouraging me. But so, how many of you are saying, I'm reading your cards? If I'm reading your cards, that's a good thing. That means you are able to see where you're at and you can make your adjustments. This is where you make the best decision you can make. Is what am I going to do with my what? Choices. Am I going to say, man, I am a wishful thinker and be honest? Or am I going to say, man, you know what? I've been dreaming a lot, but I ain't been doing a thing and I know it. Okay. Or have you been a doer, but you have not been an organized doer? So now you're doing a lot of stuff, but none of it is connecting. You're doing a lot, but you're burnt out because you're overwhelmed. Hey, gorgeous. Thank you. I also see y'all checking out the books. Thank y'all so much. I see you. Okay, I see you also following me. So as you follow me real quick, I am definitely going to give you these tickets. On the tickets, you're going to get into a drawing. I have the drum and everything. I'll roll that out later. But I just want to let y'all know, thank you. I want to let y'all know real quick. Kaylee Business, y'all are doing it. Y'all already hit 1K. So that's the goal from over here. Over here, we're at 300 hearts. Our goal is 2,500. So on Author Kaylee, if you like what you hear, definitely lift up the hearts. And I'm going to keep talking to y'all because that's what I love to do. Okay. My goal is to help you determine what's the best way to go forward with whatever it is you're believing for. Okay. So let me do this real quick. Good morning, Shalita. I see you on, I see you, sis. How you doing? Good to see you. Let me make sure I miss it. Yes, she says good morning. So I want to make sure I shout you out. I see you, hon. Okay. So if that's you, if you are in between those three phases, continue to listen to this conversation because it's not over. How many of you get faith? How many of your faith increases just knowing it's not over? Sometimes we got to know that what our lives are not dead. We just might not be doing anything. So we'll say stuff don't work, but it's not that stuff don't work. It's that we're not doing anything with our stuff. Faith without works is what? Dead. How many of you know it? Okay. How many of you have heard of it? Okay. We can hear it, but don't know how to apply it. We can hear it and don't know how it's true. And so when we don't know what's true, we'll say it doesn't matter. But the truth is, it's not that it doesn't matter. But when we are limiting how we can see stuff materializing, it's easier for us to deny it. But that also means we're in denial. And sometimes it can make us disillusioned. And so we're not really living in reality. We're really living in our false reality. And that is one of the most dangerous things because when we start caging our own thoughts, nobody has to put limitations on you because you do it yourself. And the sad part is you're doing it against yourself, not to yourself, against yourself. Okay. So my job today is to help you, is to help you see what is tripping you up. Okay. So as an author, like I told you, y'all, I'm solution driven. So if you want solutions, Typically people read my books. As you can see, if you want to what? Write, tell your story. I wrote a book to help you to do that. Why? Because as a publisher, ghostwriter, editor, I do help people to tell their stories all the way through. I don't leave you and I won't abandon you. Okay. So if you need that help, you can definitely reach out to me. You can look up my company, which is Kaylee Publishing, or Kaylee Pub. You can check it out if you want to go there. You can view me too. Hey Troy, how you doing? Showing love from Florida. What's up? I used to live in Florida, Orlando to be exact. Incredible weather. Sometimes it can be muggy though. And that's when, you hot and don't know why, and you want to fight and don't know why. It's kind of dangerous. But, and gators and snakes. Oh my goodness. I remember one time there was a coral snake wrapped in my mother-in-law's blinds one time. And I was like, what? She ended up killing it with a shovel, y'all. She became extremely cityfied and countrified at the same time. I don't know what it is. When you see something that scares you out of this world, that it makes you either what want to fight or run. And she didn't run. She fought the snake and she won. Some of you, when you are running into the things that scare you, you are getting into fight or flight, and many of you are running. Many of you are running. You're running from your reality. You're running from what you can dream for because you are settling for what you can wish for. I want to let you know, don't interchange wishful thinking with dreaming. Dreaming is better. Wishful thinking is where we start. But sometimes we got to wish. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to let you know, wishful thinking has less power than dreaming does, vision does, and definitely doing it. Because doing it makes it true. How many of you want to know, I want my dreams to what? Come true. Become a doer. And when you're a doer, then you will realize dreams do come true. The people that don't realize dreams come true, they're the wishful thinkers, because they're not going to do anything to what? Make them materialize. They're looking for other people to make it happen for them. And then sometimes these are the most pickiest people because they want it to happen in the way they see it on top of that. Bought snake in warning danger near. Snakes are, I don't know, man, snakes creep me out. I ain't gonna lie, I don't do snakes. My brother used to have a pet snake, and bless his heart, he brought it to my house. And I was like, can the snake stay outside? He was like, Crystal, it's just a baby snake. I said, baby snakes grow up. Baby snakes can, do what bigger snakes do. They can bite. Anything to me with teeth can bite. I don't know, you can say it's your pet, but it might not know that. So, and they don't know me. So unfortunately, his snake ended up dying in Florida because I guess that day it was cold. I don't know. And it was a hot bellied snake. I don't really know. But what I ended up doing is my dad actually gave me this rolled up rattlesnake skin as a gift. I really don't know why, but he did. And when he did, I gave it to my brother and I said, hey, I owed you a snake. I can't give you a living one because I would never go near it. But here's something I would do. I do like bearded dragons. He got a bearded dragon, and I thought that one was actually cute. Um, this is I'm not sure. I don't even know how to answer that question, Eric. How you doing though? Good morning. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I did mention, I said I'm going to help encourage you. So the reason why some of us may struggle with implementing our dreams or our goals is because we can become short-sighted. Now, what are some of the things that can happen in our lives that can basically short our dreams or make us short out on what we say we want and want to do or want to have, and we end up just honestly doing nothing? Some people will call it laziness. Some people will say, oh, you just don't have enough vigor or faith and all that good stuff. But for some of us, it's not necessarily that. For some of us, it's we're tired. For some of us, we're actually discouraged. Okay. For some of us, people call it laziness, but it's really you being burnt out, and people don't know the signs. Okay. Sometimes it's you being heartbroken. And you might say, well, Crystal, I'm not heartbroken. Nobody's broken my heart, at least not that I know of, which I think is a lot of truth. Okay. So I want to share this with you. Hey, AWOL, good to see you, hon. Welcome to the live as always. It's so good to see my family, my Rose Club members. Thank y'all for subscribing. For those that are in my Rose Club. And Jeremy, how you doing, hon? Thank you so very much. I see you. Good morning. Okay, I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody. Wait, it was something else. Yep, Jeremy, thank you. I do see you. Congratulations as well. There's a reward in there for you. Okay, so when we are essentially living life like we all do, there are things that are going to impact our hearts, impact our minds, impact our emotions, and we don't always get to control how they play out. Oh, thank you so much for joining my fan club, love. I see you. Good morning. Okay. And so I want to encourage you with this book. Okay. If you're finding that you are a wishful thinker and you're wanting to change that, the number one thing you have to do is search yourself. Okay. You might say, "What, Crystal? That's the first thing I need to do to tell my story, to launch my business, to do something new, to birth something I don't have yet." Yes, you need to figure out what is my inventory. We're quick to assess everybody else, but how many of us are too slow to assess ourselves? We'll let ourselves have a broken arm for 3 months because we're like, oh, it'll fix it. And Robitussin ain't gonna fix everything. Okay, NyQuil, going to sleep is not going to be your surgery. Okay, some of you may need counseling. Some of you may need to go see a doctor. Some of you may need to hear what you're running from to address and fix, heal, mend, okay, what is broken. All right. And when things break, it's all right. It's normal. What is abnormal is to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. Although we make that normal, it shouldn't be. Okay. So when you need something, it's all right to lean on people. It's all right to call family. It's all right to find someone that you can confide in and say, hey, I need your help, even if they are a professional. Okay. So I want to show you the 7 gates that are in this book. Okay. So I'm going to go over this real quick. So in this book, there are 3 books in the series. But if y'all have been keeping up, I said I was done after 3 books. But my brother Jay, who's Jacob's Ladder, by the way, he was like, Crystal, are you going to put out another Embrace Your Crown book? And honestly, my answer was quick. No, I'm done. How many of you, when you finish, you like, yes, Lord God, hallelujah. We fixed that. We finished. And then the father's like, no, you're not. Boom, I want you to write this. And you're like, really, Lord? I was excited. I was ready to be done. But the father was like, no, I got more, I got more. He didn't even just give me one book, y'all. He gave me like 2 whole topics, concepts fully developed. And I'm like, okay. So now I don't even say that there's 5 books in the series because that's grace. Okay. I just say I don't know how many books there are because I really don't know. But I'm gonna write them definitely. Okay, so in this one, this is open 7 gates to find and overcome heartbreak. Bobby, thank you so very much. Troy, I see you too. Okay. So when I first wrote this book, I was like, okay, Lord, this is good. I thought this was the only book until I realized the subjects kept expanding. Okay. So I'm going to show you. If this has been the subtotal or subtotal, the subtitle, the caption for your life, I want you to start with this book. Thank you so much, Bobby. Okay. If you have been begging people to be acknowledged, appreciated, loved, or respected, I dare say, start with this book. Okay. Why? Because heartbreak is for men and women. Okay. It's not just women. It's not men. There are higher rates of men committing suicide than any other group. And you might say, well, men are supposed to be tough. They're not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to do this. You're human, though. Okay, I get it. You don't want to be a crybaby. You got to be strong. Women feel the same way. That's why most of them don't cry either. Okay, we have to deal with life, and in dealing with life, we don't really deal with the things that are our hidden issues, and we assume they'll just resolve itself in time. Let me let you know they don't. Okay, people are 60, 50 years old dealing with a 10-year-old problem, 30-year-old problem, 40-year-old problem, and you might say, well, I don't know why I keep coming back here, because you're not dealing with this here. Okay. So I want you to read this book because I want you to open these 7 gates so that you can find what's broken in your heart, not just find it, but overcome it. Okay. So if you're ready to do something new, you have to do something you have not yet done. Okay. And sometimes you tried it, but then you got scared and you backed off of it. And then you did what you did before. You buried it, you ran from it, you denied it, you excused it, you released somebody without really forgiving them. So you basically gave them an excuse, and you keep giving people excuses to hurt you or for you to hurt yourself. Okay. Meaning sometimes we put so much expectation on people and then we release them and say, well, you know what? I don't care what you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But you just don't want to be hurt by somebody else. So you say you don't care. So if they do hurt you, you already spoke it. But how many of you know you're also speaking it into existence? So what you keep meditating on, what you keep trying to run from is actually what you are creating a world in. Okay. The reason why I put the term gates is because a lot of us are closing gates in our lives that A, need to be restored. Okay. They need to be open, but open to the right people. The Bible says to guard your hearts. So, yes, you should guard it, but you shouldn't be so guarded no one gets in, including God, including those that love you, including those that are sent to help you. Okay. You are not an island. You are not an island. It took two people to come together to make you with the what? The breath of life. The breath had to be breathed into you to make you a living soul. So you are not alone. It took three, at least three entities to come together to make you. And that ain't including all the people that's part of your ancestry. Okay. So if you want to count them, it took a village. That's why we say that. All right. But when we're thinking about ourselves and we only see our problems and our situations, we can be blinded to the things that we what can't embrace. Okay. So I want to encourage you today. All right. If you have felt like a loner or you are, or you're isolating, I want to encourage you don't do that. But I want to encourage you to what? Guard your heart still, but open your heart to the right people to help you. Okay. That's what they're here for. That's what my books are here for. They're here to help you, not just to be on a shelf and look pretty and make me look great because I have 64 of them. No, I wrote them to encourage the people that need and want to read them. Okay, so here are the seven gates. The first gate is time. A lot of us feel like I don't have time. I don't have time to think about that. I don't have time to dwell on that. I don't have time for me. I don't have time for the things I don't want to make time for. These are the things we say conveniently. Okay, but time is not a renewable resource. Okay, so when you use time, invest time. Hey, you doing? Good to see you, little YB. Nice to see you on the live. Thanks for being in the Rose Club. Okay, so when these things are happening, all right, it's important for you to look at what am I going to do with the time I have? Because the time you don't have is gone. The time that's already spent is behind you. Your past is back there, but it can still what? Be alive in your future. Okay. So I want to encourage you. The next gate I want to talk to you about is purpose. Okay. I know a lot of us is like, man, I'm looking for my purpose. I'm searching for what I need. I'm searching for hope. You're searching for something that was born within you. Okay. So if you are searching for something that is within you, the question is, what is there? Okay. What do you do without thinking, without being incredibly challenged or charged or even overwhelmed? What are you working on? And what do you feel and know in your heart, but maybe you're scared to act on? You see, a lot of us know our purpose. We're just afraid of it. Oh man, I really know I should be doing this book, but man, I don't got time for that. I'm not gonna be and putting my money in there and nothing. Nope, I'm not gonna be doing this. Nope, I know I should work on my health, but what if my diet don't work? People gonna laugh, and so ain't no really no sense. Okay, so we can really rationalize doing nothing with our purpose. Okay, sometimes your purpose is broken out into segments. Okay, because some of us, if the Father dropped everything into our belly, we would run from it and say it's the devil and it's so overwhelming. We will be like the Hebrews, 40 years in the wilderness, running from our gifts, our talents, and all that for years because we don't want to have to deal with whatever may come. Some of you, you need to become so uncomfortable with your current state of being that doing something you've never done becomes more easier in your heart and your mind, less challenging because you know staying here is no longer possible. When you get to that point, that's when you can build out responsive behaviors. That's when you can respond to what you feel. That's when you can what impact what you're going through for the good. Okay. So if you are challenged, if you are struggling, if you are lost and you want to be found, okay. Some people are lost. Have you ever talked to people and they're like, you're like, hey man, how you doing? Oh, I ain't doing too good. Okay, what's wrong? You want to talk about it? No, I don't really want to talk about it. Okay, I understand. Well, I'm gonna let you know it could get better. Well, you just don't understand. No, I don't. I asked how things are going, but you didn't want to talk about it. So, it's all right if you want to pray about it and work it out yourself. Well, actually, what I'm trying to say is nobody understands me. Nobody's gonna get where I'm at. Nobody's gonna do this. Nobody, 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 nobody. And you're like, okay, well, I'm here. I hear you. I want to help you. How can I help you? Oh, well, you're not really serious. Okay, so this person, as you can see, has already had a dialogue with themselves and has already decided nobody's helping them. Nobody, nobody, nobody. You can't help somebody who is on that level. They have to come to an agreement that somebody is going to help them. They're just looking for what? The right gate to open. Because if their gates are closed, the God can't even break down some of these people's gates. And it ain't because he ain't strong enough. It's because they're not willing. Their stubbornness is so dangerous. It's pushing away the very things, people, and circumstances they need. Hi, Bentley. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I see you too. He says, Jacob says, I used to have that perspective. Thank God he worked on me in that season. I'm telling you, it is not just a one gender problem. This is a universal truth. Okay. And that's what this series deals with, is universal truths. Okay. So if your purpose is a little muddy, if you are second guessing everybody and everything, if you are self isolating or honestly shutting yourself off to those that could help you or love you, okay, because some of us, we've been abused so much. Like the people that we thought was going to love us didn't. The people we thought that were going to give us compliments never did. They actually gave insults instead. So for a lot of us that grew up like that, it's hard for us to reimagine a life where that is not the norm. So a lot of us beat people to the punch with our insults, with our compliments, with our tear downs of ourselves. We name call ourselves so nobody else has to. But that's dangerous because you're the person you hear the most. And if you're the one that does it the most, how sad that is. So your heartbreak is not because of everybody else. Your real heartbreak is because of you. And this is the stuff you have to find. Okay. A wall, hey there. That's so cute. The moon, not the moonwalk. Okay. So some of you are actually your own biggest threat. And you walk with yourself, you sleep with yourself, you talk to yourself, you think, okay? So the things you're meditating on are the things that ultimately are shifting and guiding how you're living, okay? So patience. Some of you are too patient with other people. It's not that you ain't got enough, you got too much. You let people go and go and go and go, and you never say nothing for yourself. You never check things in the moment. You wait for them to what? Apologize to you, and some of them never will. It ain't because you don't deserve it. It's because they won't humble themselves to do it. So the question becomes, are you going to now allow yourself to suffer for what someone else has already said they're not going to do? And if you need a release, give it to yourself. Lord, I know the person is probably not going to man up. I know the woman is probably not going to woman up to apologize for how they are acting. But that's all right, Lord, because what? I'm going to release this and I'm going to forgive myself for being subject to this. See, when you do stuff like that, you're taking authority over situations. And then when people act a fool, act crazy, act ignorant, it won't bother you the same way no more. Why? Because you have found a way to you have found a way to build boundaries. Okay. When you don't have boundaries, everybody crosses them because they don't know how far they can go. How many of y'all know when people don't know how far they can go, they'll go as far as you let them? They'll cross in front of your grass. They don't respect, what you're growing. They'll tell you what you're growing. Oh, it's little. It don't matter. Yeah, but it's little now. But if you keep trampling on it, it ain't gonna never grow. So yes, I'm learning how to establish my boundaries. I'm learning how to walk in my truths. I'm learning how to do things. Okay. And I'm not gonna do it all right, but I'm not gonna let you trample over what I started. Okay. So you have to be able to guard your heart. You have to guard your progress. All right. So I want to encourage you, all right, if you are living a life and you're realizing there are issues with it, I want you to solve it, all right? Not just live with it and come through life wounded, because this is what causes the most bitterness that most people have, is they're living in pain and don't know how to release it. And I wrote a book, Jacob's over here, he's going to attest. Release Pain is one of the best books I've ever written. Okay. And I'm going to show it to you. I know it's not on Kaylee Business, but it is on author Kaylee on the store. Okay. I'm going to poke that one up just for those of you who are dealing with this. Not ignorant, it's ignorant. Yeah. You got to say ignorant. But sometimes the stuff we do, we know is just backwards. Okay. And I want to tell you the reason why we do stuff that don't make no sense. Because some of us might say, man, I don't know why I do this. This don't make no sense. I'm going to tell you. Okay. So hold on, I want to post this real quick because this book right here is one, honestly, I published, I think now it's been 2 years, I believe, since it's been out. But this book is such a favorite. And I'm writing the second book that goes with it. And I want to let y'all know it's not a woman's book. I know when you look at the women's shoes, you're like, oh, them shoes is wrong. That means this book is for ladies. No, this book is about people who can make bondage look sexy. Okay. You might say, Krystal, what does that mean? You know how you know this person is struggling, but they're going to come out in their best outfit. They're going to come out with, stuff that looks like it's the best thing ever. But then you find out that no, it kind of isn't actually. It's really not a good thing. It's actually something that people wish that they could. Oh, let me see if I can do it over here. Hold on, y'all. Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Uh, let me see if it'll show on Kaylee business. That would be so cool if it does. Okay, no, it doesn't. I'm gonna have to add it later. But if you want this, wait, hold on. Wait. Mm, okay, yeah, no. It won't let me do it on here. But I'll basically, if you want the book, you have to go to author Kay Lee to get the book I'm talking about. But in this book, it's nearly 200 pages. Okay. And when I wrote this book, I realized there are 6 things that are plaguing believers and non-believers alike. Okay. And these 6 things, I'm going to tell you what these 6 things are. One, it's robbery, injustice, unfaithfulness, betrayal, jealousy, and anger. These 6 things are what is trapping many of us up. What does that mean? It is making a lot of us become bitter. It's making a lot of us lean into emotionally depraved thoughts. It is making us write off people. It's making us say stuff like it is what it is. No, you're in pain, so you don't know how to release it. So instead of releasing the pain, you hold on to it. But I want to tell you, the longer you hold on to pain, the more y'all seen these movies, like cartoons do a really good job at this. It would show how the heart of the person grows dark. And you might say, well, what made the heart grow dark? Pain does. Y'all ever seen somebody twist somebody's arm or do something weird? Pinch. Y'all ever got pinched by your mama in church? And when you get pinched, you just instantly, it's like somebody, like shot you. You got the whole effect, body arch, everything just looking crazy. You look contorted into weird directions and you look strange. Okay. When people are having these as behavioral fits, okay, this is because something that was triggered. And then when it was triggered, this is the pain that they can still feel or remember or relate to. And this is what keeps us trapped. When we have pain, pains can make us feel like we've been robbed. Lord, that should have been the life I lived. That should have been what I had. That should have been what my mama did. That should have been what my daddy did. That should have been, should have been, should have been, should have been. Okay. If you are always saying that should have been, you are dealing with a robbery problem. You feel like somebody robbed you. You really do. Okay. And I understand it because there were times in my life where I felt the same way. I'm like, Lord, this isn't fair. Like I do all this stuff. I'm nice to people and people steal from me. That's not fair. I talk about how in the book how I got robbed one time and how it made me feel. And then I share a story about a man who felt robbed all the way around. Like he went in a relationship that didn't work out. The baby he said he didn't want at the time, he later on wished he could have had. And even to this day, he still doesn't have children. But the baby that came at a time he didn't want it, he prayed basically against it. And in so doing, the baby died. And when the baby died, he felt robbed that the baby died. And then he feels robbed this day that he still haven't had another one. Okay. And I told him, watch the words you speak, because the words you speak create the world you live. Okay. And when we don't realize our pain, our disappointments can shape us or shape things, and the enemy can steal some more. Okay. So when you're in pain, it gives the enemy gateways to come into your life and steal from you. So the reason why you release pain is so that you can shut off the faucet. Y'all know that song, Bleeding Love? I keep bleeding, keep. Okay, we all were singing the song, but how many of you know the reason why it was so popular? Because it's so true. Many of us keep bleeding. We're bleeding, and some of us ain't bleeding love. We're bleeding pain instead. We're bleeding regrets. We're bleeding things that make us feel ashamed and unworthy and second guessing and all of that. And this is why we're struggling to move forward in life. It's because we keep bleeding. Okay. And I want to show you, how do you stop this? And the only way to stop it is to release the pain that's holding on to the cut, that's holding on and keeping the wound open. Okay. You have to what? Address the wound, which means you have to address what hurt you. This is what counseling does. This is what scripture does. This is what God does. This is what the living word is. He is what? A redeemer, a savior to come and save you from yourself. Because sometimes we don't see it. So we need something to show us the way. This is why I encourage you to tell your stories. Okay. Kaylee Publishing is my publishing company, and I help people to write and tell their stories, not just to tell them, but to show other people a way out, especially if you found it, especially if you're working through it. Because not everybody wants the whole picture because they're in it. Some people want people that are authentically themselves and can show you the struggles and how you deal with it, and sometimes maybe how you failed. Why? Because it will show them how to win later. Okay. So I want to encourage you, don't give up. Don't stop doing what you need to do to survive, to make it. But know that sometimes there's a better way. Sometimes we band-aid what we got to do to get out of this first, but there is more. Okay. Injustice, of course, we all can feel like an injustice has been served, whether it is usually a legal thing. Okay. Some of us go to court and lose. Some of us go through an injustice with a company where they rob or scam us. Okay. And that makes us feel some kind of way, especially if you can't do nothing about it. Nothing makes us more bitter, more resentful, more angry, more like a vigilante than when things don't go our way and it's a strong injustice. Y'all see all of these Marvel movies and stuff about superheroes that are born from a what? An injustice. Okay. And sometimes this makes enemies too. It makes what? Villains. Villains can be created from an injustice that was what? Never released, never solved. A lot of mothers that are dealing with an injustice of dead children and they don't know why. People who have lost people in car accidents and no reason why. People who have endured an injustice or yeah, I was reading on, I think I was on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I was, or one of them. And there was a post that said this woman was raped in a Kroger. And I'm like, how in the world is stuff? This isn't an injustice. I mean, it's an injustice because A, it's in an establishment that you would think you would be safe in to go to the bathroom. And now all of a sudden it's not so safe. It's not, and that's an injustice. What do you mean? I have a right to breathe air, but I don't have a right to go to a women's bathroom anymore. I can't send my daughter unless I go with her. And now I feel like I almost got to take my husband with me and stand outside the door because now it's creating fear, which is an injustice. You should have what? The right to live in liberty and all this other stuff. And that is not what we're living though. So it is an injustice, an infraction. It is a bothersome thing. And we should talk more about the things that are not right so they can be what? Addressed. Because when we don't and we just like and maybe share, okay, some of us ain't even sharing, we just like, or we don't do nothing with it. We just read it and we bypass it. I want to encourage you, don't bypass things because it hasn't happened to you. Don't bypass. I wrote it. It's kind of interesting because this same story I put within one of my books from years ago that I wrote. It's called Alone But Never Lonely, Janet. Okay. That's the name of it's a novel too. And that was something that happened to one of the characters. It's because it's real. And I know it is, but we don't talk about it enough because it's a stain on society. It's a stain. In Jamaica, do y'all know the chances of getting raped in Jamaica, especially if you're a local, at one point was like 80%. It was outrageous. Okay. But for many of us, we are not seeing, when we don't see it, we don't think about it. And because we're not talking about it, we think it doesn't exist. But the more people I talk to, men and women, the more I'm finding that they were violated and they never spoke up about it. And then people will say, well, oh, it don't matter. You a man, you probably liked it. No, it was a violation nonetheless. Whether you were a child, a teenager, or a grown man, it's a violation. And it does rob and it is an injustice. Okay. And the more we try to pretend like it's not, and people are going to be all right, and the Father can work anything to your good, but he may use you to tell your story. So somebody who has the same story, or even better, somebody who's heading in the same direction won't have to walk in your shoes because what? They saw the signs. Okay. Vicarious living. We talk about it all the time from money and resources, but can we talk about it for social norms? Can we talk about it so people who may have to go down the road don't have to, because they can understand if somebody is touching you in awkward ways early, when you realize you're uncomfortable, you can draw a line and say, don't touch me, because you have what? The confidence to address it. The reason why a lot of people go through abuse is because they're already heartbroken, they're already in pain, and these predators see the pain in you and know you ain't gonna say nothing. So then these people violate you, which is going beyond your boundaries. They push your patience, okay? Because they're like, okay, let me see how far I can go. And this is men and women. Okay. And so I want to let you know, if you have been consistently violated, you really do. You really, really, really do. Because abuse is not something that just happens. No, abuse is something we allow. Okay. Abuse is something that can be conditioned in people. Okay. And if you want to break the cycle, break the pattern, break this connection you have with abusive people, whether they're physical, emotional, spiritual, or sexually abusive to you, or even vice versa, if it's you. Okay. Sometimes we're like, Lord, how do you fix me? When I'm the person that's the abuser, I'm the one that don't know how to talk to people. I'm the one that don't know how to hear no and respond. I'm the one that feel like I should have everything I want. I'm the one that's the manipulator. Okay. For some people, manipulation is your biggest weapon. You don't hit nobody, but you can say stuff that make people second guess their whole life, and they just go along to get you to shut up because they don't know how to tell you stop. And if they did, you don't listen. If they did, then you make that person feel like they're three, and their mama told them, shut up. Everything you got to say ain't important. So then these people stop talking. And this is why we create these atmospheres for heartbreaking situations to transpire. In that book, I share a lot of my heartbreaking experiences, because not because I just want to share stories, but because I want to show you you're not alone. I want to show you what it looks like to find your voice. I want to show you that if you have gone through something, that you don't have to stay there. Okay. But when we don't see nobody that we know made it to the other side, we assume we're the only ones. And guess what? Uh, these thoughts will want to keep you isolated so you feel that way. But guess what? Pain breeds more pain if it is unresolved. Okay. Unresolved murders, unresolved things in life, when there is no seemingly solution, it makes people feel with more discontentment. Okay. It makes them feel with more frustration, more sadness, more depression. Okay. Some people don't know why they're depressed. You're 40 years old and don't know why you're depressed. You might say, well, I got money, I got this, I got that, but I'm depressed, because you're not dealing with some of the things that keep you in pain, that keep you reliving stuff that was long time ago, not in your current, but it's still in your current, still in your heart. It's still in your mind. It's still blocking your will. Okay. So if you're going through things like that, I'm telling you, this is an incredible book. Okay. All right. But I want to make sure you know that if you are stuck and wanting to start something you have not done before, you got to look at your boundaries. You got to look at what is holding you captive. And I'm telling you, once you find out what that is, that's when you can really start opening doors and get to where you want to get to. Okay. So yes, I got a couple more minutes. If you do have questions about anything I'm saying, if you do want to join the conversation, you can definitely tap in or send a request. I will do my best. As y'all know, I'm on Kaylee Business and author Kaylee at the same time. So if we have a conversation, it can be a little tricky for them maybe to see you on the other outlet. So I may have to restate your question if you have one. And I'm just checking to see if anyone else has a comment on another. Okay, she says, I'm wonderful. Wonderful, Shalita. I do see you. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I want to share with you. I know there's a whole lot more. This is why I write books, because there is so much more to unpack, and to try to unpack it in 15, 20, 30 minutes. And for you to retain it and walk away remembering it, this is why you get the books. Okay. This is why my books are the way that they are. And by the way, professionally, I'm Dr. Krystal Lee. I don't put the doctor in front of my name. I just use Kaylee because I don't want you to get distracted by me. I want you to be able to eat what is in the book and see the value in yourself, to take what you are bringing in and turn it into the food you know you need. Okay. That's how good the Father is. He knows what each and every one of us needs, and He can issue it to us using the same source, and we all get what? A different aha experience. Okay. So if that is going to help and bless you today, I want to encourage you to definitely grab the book. The books are going to come signed. I am the author of both books I shared. I mentioned at the beginning of the live, I have 64 published books. Okay. I do help authors to write, edit, publish, and even ghostwrite their stories. We recently just released traditional publishing on Monday. And one of the biggest differences between traditional publishing and self publishing is with traditional publishing, I will invest in your book. Okay. So, what that means is if your story is definitely one that is identifying with a subject or a genre that we want to publish a book in, we're willing to invest in the book to make it to standard and to get it published. Now, doing traditional publishing, the biggest difference is there is a share on royalties. You still will be the author. We still want you to promote and help sell the book. So it's not like, oh, traditional publishing, I submit my book and you go do everything. No. What it means is you have a financial partner that's going to come alongside you, my company, and we're going to make sure your book gets done. And typically that's investing anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 or more if we have to help you write it. Okay. Many of you who have tried to tell your stories and you found it overwhelmingly expensive or just not making financial sense, I want to let you know I didn't want that to be the reason why some of the books I'm led to publish never get published. Hi, Vince. Thank you so much. Okay. And so, one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to share this way where you can submit your book to my company for review. Now, in order for us to be able to manage this, there is a cost to submit your book. Thank you so much, Vince, for joining my fan club. I appreciate you. The cost to submit your book is $250. Okay. So you might say, well, Krystal, what's in that anyway? One, it's a book consultation that you're going to get. You're also going to get a business conversation. Why? Because many of the people that I know that have multiple books published or they want to publish, a lot of them are not thinking like business owners yet. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to make sure if we're partners, you think like I think, meaning this is a business. We want to make money from the book. We have to make back the investment. Okay. So I'm going to help you to develop that mindset. Two, I'm going to review the contents of your book. I'm going to see what you've written. I'm going to tell you how to make it better. If that's even something I have to do, I'm going to share with you what's amazing about your book so that you know what you can run more into so that you can ultimately reach your intended readers. And then three, even if you don't use my company, if you want to publish your book yourself, or if you want to go through self-publishing services, which we offer, and you own 100% of the book, I want you to understand this business. I want you to know how to do it. So I'm going to teach you what you need to do to publish. I'm going to show you the benefits and the best parts of your book. And I'm going to help you develop a business strategy to sell your book in this consultation. Okay. So that's what you're paying for with the submission. It's not to submit your book necessarily for review. It's because we need to know you are business minded. And if everything is free, how many of y'all know when people submit stuff for free, they don't even pay attention to it? They don't care about the results. They don't care about if you make it. It's all about, I feel great. My book is out there and they're done. But that's not why we're wanting to publish books. We're wanting to publish books to partner with people who want to be an author and they want to turn this into a business, but they're looking for an investor. Okay. So that's how you need to look at traditional publishing because that's what it is. It's you getting an investor to help invest in your story and your book and help you to get published for, they say pennies on a dollar because it's true. So publish your book with a reputable company. If you need light editing, it's probably $2,000 or more. Okay. If you need more editing, if you need ghostwriting, you're talking about $3,000 to $4,000. If you need somebody to write the whole book for you, you're looking at $5,600 to $7,500. Okay. So if $250 got you qualified to get an offer from me, you won't pay nowhere near what my real prices are. Okay. Now, am I going to give everybody an offer? Not necessarily. Just because you submit doesn't mean you're going to get an approval. But when you get an approval, I will give you an offer. And from that offer, you can pick whatever percentage plan you want. Okay. So yes, if you want to invest more, you get a bigger percentage. That's the way it works. If you don't want to invest that much in your book, it's a great option because some people are going to be able to publish their books for 600, I think it was $682. Okay. How many of you know 682 is a whole lot better than 2,500, 3,500, 60, and some of the other prices that exist. Okay. So that's not going to be everybody's plan, but some people that will be the offer. Others, it will be a little bit different. So submit your books if you want someone to show you how to do this, because I believe that's the biggest value here anyway. And then as a byproduct, I'm also going to read your book. So I'm going to know if it's something that I would want to invest in. And if it is, that's what I'll do. Okay, so if you have questions about this, you can definitely, look up my company, which is KLE Publishing, okay, or KLE Pub. And when you look that up, it will take you to learn more about traditional publishing, which is what I'm now offering. Now, with self-publishing, real quick before I end the live, I have 6 minutes, and then I'll let you go. With self-publishing, that means you own 100% of your book royalties, which means you pay one fee, and when you pay that fee, you don't owe us for nothing. There are no percentage shares. There are no royalty payments you pay to us. You own everything. You have full access to your book. You don't have to contact us to get your payments or to print your book. You can do it all yourself. We build your portal so that you can upload future books, even if you publish them yourself or with another publisher on the same platform. This platform will allow you to reach 44,000 outlets all around the world. Okay. So if you're like, man, I want to go global, baby, I can take you global. Okay. And if you have a game plan or you need one, I can also help you to think like a business owner along the way. I can show you how to make your books better. I can definitely edit, ghostwrite, and format your book and make sure it meets, honestly, it exceeds quality. Okay. All the books that I do, I want them to be better than good. Okay. So if you want your books to be better than good, then I want to encourage you definitely to look at my company, KLE Publishing. Okay. Now, if you want to get things started, if you're like, Krystal, I love everything you just said. What can I do now on this live to like get started? I want to encourage you to grab the book that you see on the screen. Okay. So the book that I just pinned, hold on, let me put it up over here. So the book that I just pinned is going to be the guide that you get during the consultation. Okay. So you don't even have to take notes when you meet with me because I put everything in this guide. Okay. And in this guide, I'm going to show you how to write anything easily. Okay. Every genre. I have 64 published books of my own, from children's books to plays, novels, poetry, biographies, self-help, devotionals, journals, prayer books, all kinds of stuff is in my categories. Okay. And one of the things I've done is I use the same book to tell me how to outline my book. Okay. So my goal as an author is to show other authors how to tell their stories wonderfully well. Okay. My job as a publisher is to help you to know why or how we're going to help you. The worst thing someone can do is to sell you something you can't use or you don't know how it works. What we do, we look for what instructions. How many of y'all have bought something and it came with no instructions? Okay. If you were getting services done and all they give you was the bill, that is not necessarily an instruction. Okay. The instructions we give you. So if you want to do it yourself, you can use this guide to do it yourself. Okay. It's not about, making you work with me or anything like that when you buy the book. Okay. So when you order the book, this book is a hardback book. Real quick, it is in full color. Yes, had to. And then this book is quality. So these pages are not cheap. The book ain't made cheap, which is why it costs so much. Okay. But the best value about this book is what I'm going to teach you using the book. Okay. So when you grab the book today, for many of you with tax and shipping, it's still under $100. Okay. And I'll take that $100 off your consultation. So if you want to submit your book for traditional publishing, it's normally $250. But if you grab this book in the shop, I'm going to take $100 off. Okay. If you want to work with me for self-publishing, to get started with self-publishing is $156. Okay. But when you grab the book from my shop, it's going to take off $100. It's only 56 bucks. Okay. To do the consultation and get what you need. Okay. So if that makes sense and that can bless you, I want to encourage you, grab the book. Another good piece of news is the paperback books are coming in, because the hardback books, y'all, these books are expensive to print because they're hardback. They're 164 pages. I increased the paper weight. Like, these books are the truth. As you can see, everything about this book is quality. It's going to last. So if you've ever been to college, how many of y'all know those college books, the guides, they cost 50, 60, and some of them are flimsy. They are like not made well. That is not the case with these guides, okay? And the paperback versions are coming in. I should have them in like the next 2 weeks. Okay. So if this might be out of your price range, the paperback books are coming and they are going to be about, I think, like $60 or somewhere in there, with tax, of course. Shipping, this does include shipping. Okay. So shipping is part of the price that you see as well. It's just tax because, government got to get their money. But that's the only thing that is in addition to the price that you're seeing right now with the pens. Okay. But the paperback versions will be in soon, Lord willing, in like the next week or two. And when those come in, then I'll be able to change it around. So they will probably run or get you basically $50 off, or $56 for the 156. Okay. So half of it will come off of the 100, basically, when you buy the paperback. But if you get the hardback, it's $100 off. Okay. So if that sounds good, I would love, love, love to connect with you for sure and help you tell your stories and do them right. If you have published books out right now, but they're not selling, or you don't know how to think like a business owner, you have not done your mission, vision, client avatar, all that sounds like Greek to you. Okay. If that is true, then I help a lot of authors get organized and launch their businesses. Okay. If you're not an author, but you have a business that you are starting and wanting to get right, I want to share this book with you. And I actually have to jump because I have a business meeting with a client to show them how to organize their company. And guess what? This is the book that I use. This is what I provide to my clients so they know what to expect from me, but also what they can implement themselves. Okay. Even if they don't hire my company to do the services, they'll be able to use this book to get it done themselves. Okay. This book, again, it's pinned. It's very similar to the other one. It's full color as well. Both books are 164 pages. Nothing cheap about these books. I can hold my book. This is hardback by paper. How many of y'all know most of the books are not doing that? You do that, they just tear up. Quality. Okay. I want to give you stuff that will last. All right. So you can use this book again and again for any business you want to launch. It's going to be the same price, the same position. It's going to be the same process. That's the word it's looking for. Okay. So if you want to make your process easy, I want you to grab this guide. This one is going to show you how to launch your business right. Mission, vision, client avatar, sales cycles, sales structures, promotional offers, website building, funnels are in here, colors, themes, logos in here. Okay. EIN numbers, the IRS, how to do that in here. Incorporation with the Secretary of State in here. Okay. So if you haven't done these things or you want to know how to do them better, it's in here. If you haven't automated your business, if you don't know what a CRM is or how to use it, it's in here. And yes, my company builds them. Okay. So if you get stuck, I'm here to make it easier. I'm here to show you how to use this or how to do it or to do it for you. Okay. That's how it works. I make coming up with your, slogans and, taglines and all that stuff so easy that you're only filling in blanks. Okay. If you do this and you do it with intention, you honestly can launch your business right straight from the book. The table of contents in this book is 5 pages, okay? Because there's so much to share. And I'm still coming out with 3 more books in the series. One dealing with sales, one dealing with marketing, okay? Those 2 are coming out. And of course, I have this one. So there'll be at least 3 books in that series. And there are 5 books in the Write Anything Easily series. So I'm excited about that. But y'all, I got to go because it's 11:02 Eastern and 10:02 Central, which is where I'm at. And I have a meeting at 11 o'clock. So I got to go. I believe it's Central, though. So that's saving me. All right. But I got to go prepare. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. All of you who followed me, your name will go on a ticket, a blue ticket. If you buy a book, you'll get a yellow golden ticket. Okay. And then those tickets will go into this drum, which I can show you. Woo! Okay. And when they go into the drum, I will pull a ticket at some point and we'll do a drawing. Okay. If you have a yellow ticket, you get 5 times whatever the blue ticket is. Okay. So if that's you, thank you so very much for ordering books. You can do it during the live. You can do it after the live, but make sure you grab the book. Okay. And when you check out, they do come signed by me. Okay. Which is one of the bonuses. All right. You can, of course, buy it on other, if you want to go elsewhere, you can, but I would like for you to buy them from me because they will come signed, of course, and it will allow me to thank you. Okay. But until the next live, y'all have a blessed day. Real quick, we did 3,300 hearts here on author Kaylee. Thank you. And here on KLE Business, we did 1,500 hearts today on the live. So thank you. All right. And then thank you all for also tuning in. I know several of you have uh you clicked on the pins to check out the books. Make sure you add them to your cart, even if you check out later. But make sure you know where they are. You can always come back to your shop and then check out. And when you do, I'm going to make sure that your books are delivered with tracking and all that good stuff. Because TikTok and mail and UPS or USPS, yeah, USPS, they don't play, so they'll give you tracking. Okay. So until then, bye bye for now. Y'all have a beautifully blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Until I see you next time. Bye bye, guys. Thanks for tuning.